And the upload is broken. I have to re-upload it. But let's start the next one. So here we go. So that's my stream. Okay, where am I? So we need to leave the room. So the logic here is kind of like the reverse of when we join. What we do is like we need to remove the user from this. We need to change this one to no, where the value change from the object ID to no, as well as we need to remove the user from this array, right? So we also have to do that step, and that will be let me see, update the database. That's going to be this one. So I'm going to do socket dot leave sorry, dot on, and then socket dot on we have leave room. Okay, and then when you leave the room, we actually know that user belongs to which room already, so we don't need to give the room ID at all. Okay, so just this, and then we have a function. That function we have something async. Okay, that's for the back end, and now we need to call this one on the front end. Go back to the front end. Let's have a button just to how do I say, leave the room here. You can put a button anywhere, it doesn't matter, so I'm gonna put it here, button, then leave the current room. Or before you join another room, right, you check if the room value here is available. For example, before you join another room, in this function you can do something like this: check if you are in a room by checking this ID. If it's not no, then you have to call this one, call socket.emit leave room. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it to you. I'm gonna do something so simple like here. I'm gonna create a button, and this button is gonna have an on click, and this on click is gonna remove gonna emit socket.emit. Okay, and you want to emit you want to trigger an event, and that's event called leave room, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. Is it? That's it. You want to leave the room, and I think that's it. Yeah, you leave the room. So after this, you can have a callback function. I don't know. You can have a callback function. It depends on what you do. It's not this. It's gonna be a no. You don't need to send any data. The second element is a data, and this one is gonna be a callback or error or response. Let's call it response. And let's say if we need to construct the let's say I want to construct shit, this one gonna allow it. So let's remove here. Sorry, I make you confused. Just say leave room. Okay, make it simple. And then here I'm gonna const leave room room equal a function arrow function. Now my brain stopped working. Okay, now you paste you're gonna socket.emit leave room. You don't need to send any data. I cannot see the chat, sorry. No questions, no question. We actually don't have to send any data to the backend because all the data are already inside our database. All right, so we need to listen to the response. If there is a response and response dot okay, it's not okay. If it's not okay, we console log it. Console log response dot error. Mean there's an error. What the hell? If what if 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 that that okay. So if there's any error, we can log it. This just for debugging if we have. All right, so we click this button. I expect to leave the room and go to the backend server at the backend side. So now you can do the opposite of this. I'm gonna copy and paste here. So we want to update the database when the user leave the room, as well as notify notify the other clients inside the room, right? In that room. Sorry. All right. So we have two steps: update the database when the user leave the room, and we have to change this value back to null, as well as this one. We move the user ID from this array, and then after that we do one more step. We how do we leave the room? Leave unsubscribe. You can say unsubscribe from the channel, right? Unsubscribe from the channel. And lastly, we want to notify the clients. We want to notify them first, and then we unsubscribe them. So we have three steps. Let's go with the first one. Uh, First, we need this function. I'm going to copy and paste down here. So it's the same. So we can copy and paste server, and then we have to update. So let's say let's create a method here. A since leave room. Now you can see the convenience of using class, right? Right now, this class is very simple. It's only have one disk, but in the future, you can create more properties. Right. Leave the room. We don't need the ID because we already have the ID, right? It's an async function. And yeah, so how do we leave the room now? We need to update this room member. Okay, so we have this dot user dot room already, right? So we already have this dot user dot room, and what is that? I think we need to find the room. It's not in here right now. This one is going to be your ID. So right now it's an ID, I think. Right now it's an ID. Yeah, it's an ID. So we have to find room. It's only an object when you join the room. Right? When you run this method, it's gonna be an object. Oh shit! Right. When you run this method, it's gonna be an object. But when you leave the room, right? When you call this instance again, we haven't like activate. We haven't called this method. So from the so we when we check user here, check user, it return the user object. And inside user object, you can populate. You can do populate here if you want. You can do populate here. You can either do populate here, or you can find here. Which one do you want to do? It's the same. Actually, you have to run one additional query. So let's stick with a very basic flow. We want to find the room, right? Cons room equal await, and then you have to find room dot find by ID, and you actually have the ID already. With it says user dot room, right? This one is an ID. In this case, ooh, okay, and then you have the room. Then you want to do what? Room dot remove, not that room dot member dot remove, room dot member dot remove. And this remove is actually if you go to mongoose document. You see remove is a document remove schema remove. Um, is it remove? You can do remove here. I think I remember we can do document remove. Do we? Dot remove again. We have a query here. Remove character, remove execute. No. Sub document remove sub. Right. So we can do something like this. So parent dot child, and you can do remove here. So there are a couple of ways. I forgot which way I use. Let's see the lab. Let's have a cheat here. So you can do remove style like this. It's also work. Right. The whole thing here is a parent, and this one you have a subdoc. This have something very special. To remove, now you remove the ID. This dot user dot ID. Basically, you want to delete your file instead of using JavaScript. You file you filter the rest of the array that doesn't match the ID, right? So now you can have the method remove, and Mongoose will do it for you. Okay, and then you do room.save. Okay, await room.save. So we update the rooms as well as. So now one more step we have to do await this dot user dot room equal to no, you don't need await here. Instead, we're gonna await down here. Await this dot user dot set. Okay. Right. I think that's it. Right. Go back to the server and then update it. Now we can call await server dot leave room. Right. Simple. You don't have to pass anything. Just leave the room. And we actually have the ID of the room, and you can do a conditional check here. If there's room, if there's no room, you can throw and catch. If there's no room, you can do like throw new error, room not found, for example, to make it more strict. So here you have to use try and catch. Do I have try and catch earlier? I forgot. So try, and then here you catch error, catch. Do we have try and cut here? We don't have try and cut here. We should have try and cut here. Whatever, you can do it on your own. Try and cut, because here I have a response, right? So inside response, I listen to the OK field. So I can do return CB. So here you have underscore CB. Underscore mean anything, anything that we don't even care. But we want to have something here. We want to like we want to use CB here, call back here, and actually is the second element here, right? Response. So return CB inside that is going to be an object, and the first key is okay, no, is false, and the error is something called error.message. Okay. So if there's no response is okay as well. So we leave the room. Now we need to notify the other users. So how do we notify all the user? You learn this socket. Is it socket? Is it socket? Is it socket? Is socket? Socket at two. Yes. So, is it socket at two? Socket at two. I don't really remember. Let's try it. socket.2, and we have this. No, we don't have this. We have server.user.room, right? Wait. Oh, wait. Hang on. Now, this dot user room is no. Ah, so I too guess to all. Yeah. So right now, some problem here. Socket.to server.user.room. We don't have this anymore, guys. We don't have this anymore. We don't have the room ID anymore, right? We don't have it. For some reason, we don't have it. You. So you can do one more line here. You can attack it. This dot user dot room ID equal to what? I'm gonna do. You can do it like this, or should we do it like this? Okay, I'm gonna. I forgot how I do it, but let's ID equal to. Sorry, this but user room, and now this user room ID is gonna be equal to ID. That's so weird, but anyway, that's how we fix it. So now we have io.2, so it's io.2 from Chin, and here we don't have the server user now, user group. Now we have RID here, right? We create a new key, a new properties inside the object, then we call it here. Okay, socket.2, and now we broadcast. And now what do we do here? We broadcast, and then emit, and the event is messages. And what's the data here? Shit, the data here is an object, and the name is gonna be system, right? System is gonna announce it. And here's the text. Text. Whoever has left, I don't know, server. You can use a $sign here, server dot user dot name has left the room, for example. Cool. And then on the front end, it will receive the message, and it will render this message or this notification to the user. Okay, so lastly, we need to unsubscribe the user, the client from this channel by using this syntax. Hmm, where is it? Here. So this is how you join the room, and this is how you. Oh, you can actually use socket.broadcast.2 as well. It also works. Whatever, whatever. How do you leave it? To leave the channel, just call leave in the same fashion as join. All right. So this is how you leave. Okay, simple. Socket dot leave, and here you have the channel. The server dot user dot id. Copy that. Put it here. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. And here you can say something like successfully left the room or something, but for now I don't really need that. Right, let's test. So for now, I have the token here. Why the hell should I have the token here? I save this, and let's close this one, close this one, close this one. Man, I cannot close it. I'm gonna close this one as well. Right, let's start again, and I'm gonna remove all the data. I don't want to cause any problem, so I'm going to remove all the data here, and this one as well. So I'm going to save. Oh man, let's just delete everything. make it simple. Delete everything, and then in the rooms, I need to remove this guy from the room as well. So delete. Right. Cool. Right. Nice. So let's test localhost 3000. Here I have my name is Khóa. Let's open our console here to see all the error if there is. Right, I'm gonna join Chrome. Okay, successfully added to Chrome. You can check the database here. This is me. Let's open a new window and test with another name. This one is Lin, my brother, and he's gonna join Chrome as well. All right. From here, you see Lin has joined the server. That's correct. And now, check the database. If you refresh, you should see two guys in here, right? Okay, and on the user collections, you should see two token and two room ID with the same ID, right? Correct? Is it too small? Yeah, sorry. Now, everything worked fine so far. Now I'm gonna leave the room. Hua is gonna leave the room, right? Shit. Cannot rapidly undefined. Sorry. Let's go back to the code. Cannot read property emit of undefined. And this is the console log that we have in this uh, on line 65 here. That's why that's why sometimes you need to console log the error in order to see what's wrong, right? So go back. It say the error is cannot read property emit of undefined. All right, that's cool. Cannot read property emit of undefined. So I think something wrong here. Yeah, I think something wrong here. IO.2 server user and broadcast emit. So this is undefined. So how do we debug? Let's say console log. So man, so actually on the database side, we actually remove everything, right? On the database side, we actually remove everything. We're gonna check it, but I'm gonna put everything in here. I'm gonna put a server.user.id here. I haven't saved it yet. So let's go to the database and check. So this one's gone. Khoa already left the room on the database side. Also, if you go into room, right, you should see only one element. Yeah, correct. So everything is correct. And let's Lin also leave it. Leave it. Right. And now check again. This array is empty. And the user here is not both null. So I don't have to remove the collections. So go back to the code. So I'm gonna save it and I will see the console log here to make sure I actually have this value. Right. So let id equal to this dot user dot room. Right. And then this dot user dot id equal to id. And then server dot user id, and I hope it works. What? Someone asking. And save here. Okay, test again. I make the first mistake. All right. Reload. And this is Khóa. This is refresh. This is Lin. And Lin joined Chrome. And Khóa also joined Chrome. And Khóa is gonna leave the current room. Okay. So the syntax here is wrong somehow. Really? That's weird. Whatever. So we have the ID of the room I expect in IO.2. Really? Let me check again. IO. It's socket. Socket. Dot two. Socket dot two, and then the server, and then broadcast, and then emit. Man, Chinlay. Damn. Damn. Right. All right. So I'm gonna save it and test again. So now this guy actually leave the room already. So I'm going to reload. So this one is Khoa. And actually you can see I want to try again. And this one is Lin. Lin's gonna join Chrome. And then Khoa also join Chrome. And you should see a welcome message here. All right. So Khoa's gonna leave. Right. I think successfully left. And Khoa has left the room, right? So everything is fine now. If you check the database, uh, so there should be a value here, right? Correct. And here should have one element inside. Yes, correct. So everything is fine. So I got into that error because Jin Lei deceived me. I trust him. Okay. So do you want me to recap? Let's recap. Uh, uh, ma, ma, ma. So when we leave the socket, right? So I think we have to one more step. We need one more step to do. Just like here, we need to update the room globally, I guess. So one more step. Update the global rooms. Just copy and paste. Okay. Cool. So yeah. So let's recap. Just like joining a room, I create a method for leaving a room, right? And then I call that method here. Inside that method, we're gonna like find the room based on the ID, based on the ID. So here you don't need that. You can change ID to make it shorter. Just make it shorter. Nothing else. Nothing else. Right. The same value but it's shorter. So we find the room based on this ID because when we check the user, I don't do populate here. I think that's good. If you don't do populate, it's okay. And you find a room, you check if there's a room, if there's not that if the room doesn't exist, you say okay, room not found, you send a wrong, or somehow you bypass our security or our logic somehow. If there's actually a room, then we remove the user from that room by using this syntax, this method, remove from the documents. Actually, the member here is actually a collection. It's not a document. It's actually a collection, and a collection is kind of like a model. It's kind of like a model. So you can do remove, and you want to remove this ID from the collections. This is a sub collection, and this is a sub doc. This is a sub doc. And the concept of sub collection and sub doc is very. You should read it more. You can find it on the internet, or you can go to Firebase and read it. It's very useful. So you remove the user ID from the array. Then you save it, await save. And then you also do the same thing here. You change it to no and then save. Okay. And at long last, you're gonna, because we're gonna need its RID here. Here. And that's why we need to keep that information somehow. And we just need to attack that into another field, another property that we create here. So this .user.id will become server.user.rid, right? So that's how we can have access to the RID. Okay. Sometimes if we can find the information on the database ourselves, we don't need the client to send us anything. If we can, right? If we cannot, we need the client to send us something. So that's we want to be more secure. We want to get the data by ourselves, not from the client. We try to avoid getting data from the client as much as possible. And so we got the ID, we say like socket to the channel, we broadcast the message saying he's left the room, and then after the broadcast, we do unsubscribe the user from channel, client from the channel. By doing so, lastly, we want to update the rooms, right? Cool. Right. Let's do. I don't see anyone chat, so let's leave the room here. I think I leave it already. So open the lock. Open the lock here. Right. User not found. Please log in. Really? Link. Right. Link's here. This guy is gonna be quiet here as well. So I'm gonna log in Chrome. You still see two members? Really? Is it? All right, two member because Linus didn't log out. He didn't log out, so that's why you will need one more function, and I will leave that to you guys. I don't want to demo that. It's not that. Oh shit! Let's start chatting. You can try this one. We can. If you cannot, we can work on it tomorrow. And disconnect socket. This one is very important. Disconnect socket. For example, if a user he doesn't click on the leaving the room, right? He just simply close the window or refresh the window, and we need to remove unsubscribe that guy. The socket will automatically unsubscribe the client from the channel, but from the database, we actually still keep the user in that channel in that rooms. So there's one way to remove that user by we can repeat the same logic. So user logout also do. So in user logout, we also have some action kind of this one, like this one. From user logout, we also remove the user from the room, the current rooms as well, right? So you will have to do that function on your own. And the chat, I don't think the chat is so hard though. We have to, we just need to update it a little bit, right? This is front end. Don't worry about the front end. We already have this part of code. We don't need to worry about this. Yesterday we have it. So this is a method to create a new chat, right? For example, when a user chat something, blah 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 blah, we create a new chat and then we save it. We return the chat. Yeah, we create the chat and we return the chat, and then we will emit the chat object here to the front end. Cool. Very simple. We keep this part. We keep it. We add this one. We add this one because we just define the. Oh shit! This one should be user dot check user, right? Server capital server dot check user. Remember, last night I went back and changed a bunch of here as well. This should be server dot check user. Okay, last time I went back and changed a couple of things here. So I will edit it right away. Don't worry. And all right, so you can chat. As you can see here, we only have one method. It is chat, right? And what the hell is request? I call it request. All right, I call it request. You can call it anything, but I call it request somehow. So server.chat, and inside this method, we're gonna create a chat object and save it into the database, and then we return it to the server, right? So basically, that's it. Nothing fancy at all. Cool. Cool. Any questions? This is gonna be the last lecture today. So there should be a couple of steps. I will fix the syntax here. It should be server.check user for you. And the rest, I think you can do it. Yes. Yeah, you can now get started coding. Oh, for Mysore 9, right? I said something earlier in the morning lecture that I will show you how to separate the IOs. Like you can call IO in different files. For example, in the future, you may want to use socket IO into your Express app or your tour app, right? For example, you want to send notifications. So you need to be able to call IO inside your Express router, for example, right? So you don't want to do something like this, socket dot on here, but you want to do socket dot on inside here, for example. You can do something like socket dot on here as well. It also work, or IO dot on. It also work here. So milestone 9 is basically that, right? So you export the IO, but it's a little bit different from how we do it on the front end. Just follow this step here. And then, what the hell is it? Uh, uh, I think this one, yeah, same thing. So now you can import, IO in a different file and use it just like this, right? We can do it this tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Okay, if you don't have any questions, I'm gonna stop the video now. Questions? No. All right, I'm gonna pass the ball to you. Bye bye. Stop sharing. See you guys.